Namaste. Good evening, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the Ayurveda Webinar by Dr. Anupama, conducted by Kerala Association of Los Angeles and SoCal Ladies. This is Reshmi Nair here. We have our friends joined from across the country, beating the challenges of the time zones. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight. Your support means a lot to us. I want to remind you one thing. Please stay tuned until the end of the webinar, as Dr. Anupama will be available to answer all your questions and concerns live. And now let me call upon our Honorable President of Kala, Mr. John Matthew, to say a few words.
Thank you, Rashmi. Good evening and welcome to each and every one of you who are here to attend the Ayurveda Discover the Path to Health and Well-Being workshop. My name is John Matthew, and on behalf of Kala, Kerala Association of Los Angeles, and Southern California Kerala Ladies Association, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your presence tonight. Tonight's event would not be possible without the support of our amazing community. Our association would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to every single one of you for your support and time. We are fortunate to have Dr. Anupama as our guest speaker this evening. നമുക്കറിയാമല്ലോ ആയുർവേദത്തിന്റെ 5000 വർഷത്തോളം പഴക്കമുള്ള ചരിത്രമാണ് ആയുർവേദത്തിനുള്ളത്. നമ്മുടെ ഭാരതം ലോകത്തിന് നൽകിയ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ സംഭാവനകളിൽ ഒന്നാണ് മദർ ഓഫ് ഹീലിംഗ് എന്ന് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ പറയുന്ന ആയുർവേദം. So we should be proud of what our motherland has given to humanity. On that note, I would like to say Ayurveda teaches us how to stay healthy through the right balance, mindset, diet, lifestyle, and more. It is important, especially during this time of COVID, for us to stay healthy. So we are excited to have Dr. Anupama join us tonight. A big thank you to Dr. Anupama for being here tonight. Once again, thank you to all of you. We truly appreciate your support and hope you enjoy tonight's event. ഒരു കാര്യം കൂടി, ഓഗസ്റ്റ് 29 കലയുടെ ഓണാഘോഷ പരിപാടികളുണ്ട്. അതിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങളെ എല്ലാവരെയും സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുവാൻ കൂടി ഈ അവസരം ഞാൻ വിനിയോഗിക്കുകയാണ്. And at this time, I would like to welcome Rashmi again to take over.
Thank you, Mr. John Matthew. That was Mr. John Matthew, President, Kerala Association of Los Angeles. So, friends, are you all ready to enlighten yourselves about how to lead a healthy life based on the classical textbooks of Ayurveda? From what I've learned and read, I believe Ayurveda is all about finding the right balance between the mind, body, and spirit. But let me ask you this. When you hear Ayurveda, what is that first thing that comes in your mind? See, different people have different perspectives, right? When I think of Ayurveda, the first thing that comes to my mind is my grandmother's home back in Kerala. I still remember the strong and pure aroma of nature's finest, Neelaprangadi, Thanvandaram, etc., giving us such rejuvenating and therapeutic feelings. Natural shampoos like hibiscus and shikagai, bringing lovely texture to our locks. Turmeric and green gram powder, making the skin super soft. Oh, how can I forget? Dashamoolarishtam and Chavanaprasham, my all-time favorites. But let me ask you again, is that what all about Ayurveda? See, I'm talking from a common man's perspective. It is a 5,000-year-old mother of all healing, the world's oldest healing medicine. How about we hear it straight from the horse's mouth? More than that, this is the best time to discuss about Ayurveda as we are in the month of Karkidakam. For all my friends who are not familiar with the word Karkidagam, Karkidagam is the last month in the traditional Malayalam calendar, which is marked by heavy rain. So this is considered ideal time to do Sukha Chikitsa or Ayurveda Chikitsa as well as beauty enhancements. Of course, time have changed, but some traditions still continue to follow. Tonight we have Vaidya Anupama with us. She is the professor and program director of Southern California University of Health Sciences. We will watch a short video on Dr. Anupama's achievements right now, but I want to add one more thing to that video. I think if I don't say it, I'm missing a big thing. She is one of the most kindest, compassionate, and empathetic person I ever met. More than that, very down to earth. So let's watch a video on Dr. Anupama's achievements and we will get back.
Dr. Anupama Kitsakivetil is an Ayurvedic doctor, licensed acupuncturist, yoga teacher, and professor and program director of Ayurvedic medicine at the Southern California University of Health Sciences. She developed the Ayurveda Wellness Educator and Ayurveda Practitioner programs at SCU and is affectionately known around campus as Dr. Anu. Her diverse educational background, including a master's in Chinese medicine and a PhD in public health, has allowed her to play an integral part of growing the institution into a truly integrative health campus. Under her leadership, the Ayurveda program has been recognized in the last 3 years as the #1 program providing Ayurvedic education in the United States. Dr. Anu has traveled extensively to different countries, including Japan, Germany, Switzerland, France, Canada, the US, and China, among others, to promote Ayurvedic education and practice. She has served as an ambassador for Ayurveda at the Academy of Integrative Health and Medicine, one of the largest growing integrative medicine organizations in the United States. Dr. Anu served as an executive committee member of the Council of Ayurvedic Research, and she's a current board member of the California Association of Ayurvedic Medicine, a nonprofit devoted to promoting Ayurvedic education, research, and practice in California. She also serves as a board member of the National Ayurvedic Medical Association, which represents the Ayurvedic profession in the United States with a mission to promote the practice of Ayurveda. Dr. Anu is actively involved in integrative, complementary, and alternative medicine research. She has published 27 scientific journal articles and presented more than 120 scientific papers in various national and international research and professional conferences. Many of these papers received special recognition at their respective meetings. She also serves as a peer reviewer for several research journals. She is a recipient of numerous awards for her research-related activities, including multiple Outstanding Researcher, Excellence in Research, and Excellence in Educational Scholarship Awards from SCU, as well as the Ayurveda Vachaspati Award and Outstanding Contribution Award from the American Public Health Association, to name a few. Dr. Anu serves on the research working group of the Academic Collaborative for Integrative Health and also served as action board member of the American Public Health Association, helping to coordinate grassroots and grasstops advocacy activities. Over the last 6 years, she has actively participated in visits to Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. to meet with legislative officials and public policy makers to discuss public health-related priorities. Dr. Anu currently serves as co-PI on a research study funded by the National Institutes of Health. She is also founder and president of Ayurveda Herbs Company and Athreya Herbs, and vice president of Athreya Ayurvedic Integrative Health Center in the United States. Dr. Anu loves spending time with her family. She also enjoys gardening and classical Indian dance.
Welcome, Dr. Anupama.
Namaste. Thank you for that introduction, Reshmi Chechi and Johnny Uncle. I'm really honored to be here to talk about this traditional Ayurvedic medicine with our community. So my main interest here to inspire or rekindle all of your passion for Ayurveda. I'm sure all of you might have already used Ayurvedic medicine and you know what is Ayurvedic medicine is. But there is a concept in Ayurvedic medicine which is like Shadayu or Shadamanam Bhavati. That means like, living up to 100 years with the best quality of life and, with more happiness in body, mind, and spirit. So Ayurvedic way of living play a major role in that. So I just want to give you some very basic concept in Ayurvedic medicine so that you all get a little passionate or interest in that so that we can follow that way of lifestyle. So thank you very much. We will go to the presentation now. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. So before I start, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Thank you. So what does Ayurveda stand for? So Reshmi Chechi gave an introduction. It's a way of life or balance in the body, mind, and spirit. So the definition Ayurveda, Ayu is a life, Veda is a knowledge or science. So it's talk about the science of life, not just when you are getting sick or when there is any imbalance, which is explaining the science. It's like how to lead a happy, peaceful, and the best out of the life. That's the main core principle here. So the main the principle in Ayurvedic medicine is based on the holistic science. Like it's a whole system approach where promote the health and wellness care. That means there is a huge concept about the preventative care. That's where the Karkidagam, the concept of that, and then going through a lot of health promotive type of treatment comes. So prevention of the disease is very important than disease management. How we can take care of health, preventing getting into the disease. And that's where the West is more interested also to understand this concept of Ayurveda and how can we prevent the disease and reduce this cost of expense for all this disease, right? So the beauty here is it is an individualized medicine. For example, if you have a headache or low back pain, when you go to an Ayurvedic practitioner, 5 different people with the same complaint, the medicine what you get it may be the same complaint, but it may be different. So that means it is an individualized medicine. It is a patient-centered care. So the practitioner or Ayurvedic doctor will be thorough examining how is your diet, how is your lifestyle, what kind of food you are eating, what time you wake up, what time you go to sleep, how is the stress level. And based on that is what your herbs and therapy will be determined. And another beauty here is not only treating the disease here, it also enhances the quality of life. And it's a way of life. So if you look at the classical textbook of Ayurveda, it explains starting from waking up in the morning till you go to sleep, what kind of food you have to take, when you have to sleep, what type of food you should avoid, what type of activities you should avoid. So everything, it is explained how to behave. So it's not just about the herbs or Triphala, Ashwagandha or treating the various type of disease. It's complete, it's a science which explains how to lead a life. So there is a difference between leading a life, healthy life, and treating a disease. So that's something I really want to highlight here. It is a way of life. No other medical science I could see which explain thorough detail about to leading a life with the really scientific background. So that if you look at some of this research study, what's happening now in the modern current world, which is actually revalidating the principle which is explained in Ayurvedic medicine thousands of years back. In those times, there is no MRI, there is no ultrasound, there is no scanning, but they have explained this pathology so in depth. It will be amazed to see that how does this Acharya knows about it. And most of the study about the lifestyle related, which is already explained in this classical textbook thousands of years back. So it's an age-old wisdom which can be applied into everyday life. And every human being can adopt this principle. You don't have to be a sick person to follow the principle explained in Ayurveda. Do you want to be a healthy, happy, peaceful life? You follow the principle here. Just so what I want to take on point here is make sure that it's not the science just to treat the disease. It's the science which promote the individual health, happiness, and peace. So the balanced state of the body, mind, and spirit is the key point. Another beauty here is optimistic living and positive health. If you look at the New York bestseller book, and now most of recent publication are more concentrating towards the optimistic living and positive health, which again, thousands of years back, our acharyas mentioned. So in order to have a healthy life, it's not about multivitamin. It's not about how many hours of exercise you are doing. It's not about whatever, like other supplement, or it's also involved how much positive you are, how happy you are, how are you coping up with the stress around you. Why like if you look at the suicide rate, why it is increasing every year, even in India and other foreign countries, the number of death is increasing every year. Because what's happening nowadays is we are not learning how to cope up with the stress. We are not teaching our kids also to face the failure, right? We always need the positive, we always need the success. So then it is hard for us to how to cope up with that. And that can cause us a lot of challenges, stress-induced disorder. It can cause us hyperacidity, it can cause insomnia, hair fall, even up to the cancer level, also stress play a role. So optimistic living and positive health is very important, and it explains even before talking about the disease management, Ayurveda talk about this principle, the importance of it. And it's a consciousness-based approach. Here the word consciousness-based means it's not just about a religious perspective, not Hinduism, Buddhism, or not that perspective. It's the concept which makes you to think, what is the purpose of my life? Why am I here? What make me happy? What make me sad? And the value of forgiveness to yourself and forgiveness to others, being happy, being in harmony and peaceful state of mind. How many of you just close your eyes and think, do I give value to this principle in my life? We are so busy nowadays. We wake up in the morning, we just grab some breakfast, sit into the car. Now because of the COVID, we don't have to drive, but sit into the car, drive to work and face meeting or whatever the challenge, come back, maybe traffic, you'll be very tired and watch in front of the TV something and then go to bed. What do we do to take care of our mind? What do we do to take care of our body? Just this breakfast, some cereal that also bombarded with a different type of sugar. And then the lunch, little bit some vegetable or whatever, chapati, rice. Does that enough? Because you are what you eat and digest. Your blood, your muscle, your bone, everything is formed out of the food what you eat. Do we take care of it? Do we pay attention to that? Do you hear your own breathing sound? Just think about it. How many of you hear your own breathing sound? Or when you eat the food, chewing the food and the food moving, do you hear that? Harvard recently did a very beautiful study about the mindful living practices. Traditionally, we had it. Do you remember, like a traditional system, we all sit in front of the food, whole family members, we pray in front of the food and then we eat, right? Very many years back. Now then it became dilute. Now nobody cares. We will eat the food in front of the TV. We have a lunch meeting. We have a dinner meeting. Because these all play a major role how your food is going to digest and metabolize. So that's why Ayurveda encourages us to think like consciousness-based approach or mindful living practices for the health promotion. So here, it's not just aiming for a disease-free state. Ayurveda is not just like, okay, if you don't have any disease, according to Ayurveda, it doesn't mean that you are a healthy person. So that it look at the life as a completely in a different dimension. Each individual is not a separate, isolated entity from the universe. We are closely connected with the nature. Changes in the environment definitely influence the body. There is a homeostasis between this body and environment. Whatever heat increases outside, heat can increase in the body as well. The cold increases outside, that can increase in the body as well. Because you see, whatever you see in the body, you can see outside too. We have water inside the body, you have water outside. You have space inside the body, space outside. So we are so much connected. The concept of macrocosm and microcosm closely related to that. And then, so the core principle here for Ayurveda is healthy diet, healthy lifestyle and behavior. That is the key. And the balance is the key factor between the body, mind, and the spirit also. So how does we achieve a healthy, happy, peaceful life? And I know it's within 20 minutes. It's very difficult to finish all the information, but I'll try my level best. So Ayurveda is explained about the daily routine. Daily routine means starting from waking up in the morning till you go to sleep. I will explain that after a few slides. And there are seasonal routine we need to follow. If you remember, again, your muttashi or all grandma and all give like based on some season, like in a rainy season, there are certain recipes like preparation you will eat. Summer season, there are different preparation you will eat. And you can see the similar changes also happening in the environment, right? It is the whole nature looks different during summer season, winter season, autumn season, right? So nature itself cope up with that changes. But as a human being, what do? Maybe during summer season, you will go out to Starbucks and get something cold. And during winter season, you may go and get something hot. We don't make that much changes based on the season. That is another reason some people get affected by, if the immune system is very weak, those people will have a seasonal changes related allergies, etc. Then Ayurveda recommend the diet and lifestyle change. That is, again, it's a like detailed in-depth class. Usually I teach about, it's more than 50 hours of topic actually. But I will touch a little bit there. Herbs if needed. So in order to take the herb from Ayurvedic perspective, you don't have to be a sick person. There is separate category explained in Ayurveda called rejuvenation therapy. That's one of the 8 branches in Ayurveda. These rejuvenatory herbs, there are rejuvenatory herbs as well as rejuvenatory therapies. And some diet aspects. So the herbs under the rejuvenatory herb, a recent research study shows that it has adaptogenic quality. So what does adaptogenic quality means? It helps these herbs know once it enter into the body, it work according to what the body need. So it helps, it is one of the best antioxidants group of herbs. It helps to fight with the free radical formation. So like Triphala, Ashwagandha, there are certain herbs which is specific for a rejuvenation. So there are rejuvenation herbs for the brain, memory, skin, hair, complexion, joint, etc. So for those, you don't have to be sick, just to promote your health. And then body work therapies and detox therapy, timely you can do that. And yoga meditation is very important to promote the health. Why is yoga important? You remember why people are like the number of people suffering from osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis or joint related disorders are actually increasing tremendously. What I feel is we don't do the exercise. Think like here we have about more than 100 plus people here. How many of you think that do exercise regularly? Traditionally, you may think that, oh, our grandma and all never did the exercise, but look at their lifestyle. We used to mop the floor in a squatting position, sitting, right? We used to mop it. Now we don't do that. We became so fashioned, we need to hold the stick and then do. There is no forward bending, there is no squatting position. Look at the toilet what we had in olden days. That position really helps to have a very good bowel movement and also give a good support to the pelvic bone. Our lifestyle again destroyed that exercise. We usually wash the clothes. If you remember, people used to wash the clothes like there is a big shoulder rotation. It removed the stiffness in the shoulder and rigid. Now what do? Right? So there are so many lives and rice grinding, Look at that. In the olden days, we had none of the women have that right nowadays. Man used to walk a lot for a work. Now we have a car, even 5 minutes walk, challenging for us. So we are the cause for our own disease. Our lifestyle is the cause for our disease. Okay, so you have to go to gym now to do that. Recently, when I went to the gym, I found that all this shoulder rotation and then grinding type of exercise, it's a gym exercise. Why don't we do that at home? You think, how many of you do forward bending in your day-to-day life? No. What do? We go for a walk. So even at the walk, there is not much movement, right? It's a knee joint, ankle joint, hip joint. But do you do forward bending? Do you flex? Do you do sidewise movement? So when you do this type of movement, it helps to improve your joint function, reduce the stiffness and rigidity. So once you hit the menopause time, I would highly encourage to practice yoga and meditation. And especially through the hormonal transition time, women, I really noticed they're very stressed out. Even small thing make them frustrated, irritated, sad, depressed, anxiety. So there will be a lot of emotional fluctuation happening. How do we cope up with that? Meditation really play a major role there. Meditation doesn't mean that you have to sit for 3 hours and do that. Some people, it will be very difficult. Even 5-minute closing eyes will be difficult. So many thoughts will come. What do I cook for lunch? What do I cook for dinner, etc. So here, close your eyes and do some pranayama, breathing exercise, or just to concentrate on your breath. That itself brings the calmness, the stillness within the body and mind. Okay. And then Ayurveda also explained the code of conduct. I couldn't see any medical science, traditional medical science. WHO has listed, World Health Organization has listed various types of traditional medicine. None of them talk about, for a healthy life, the role of behavior, the code of conduct. Initiate the conversation with the smiling face, having more peace. Don't react to the situation immediately. Wait for it. Fill your heart with the love and compassion. You may get frustrated, you may get irritated, but tell yourself, slow down. Even at this moment, how many of you can forgive yourself and forgive others? It's very challenging for us to accept ourselves who we are. We all have a certain type of expectation in our life. When we doesn't reach that expectation, it creates frustration to us. Who are we showing all these things? Ask yourself, what exactly I need in this life? What do I prioritize? For me, I would say that health is very important to achieve everything what you want in this life. Once you have a health, you can achieve whatever you want because you will get that internal strength. So one of the beautiful concepts in Ayurveda is the food as a medicine. So food as a medicine, this is a simple thing. You don't have to go to a doctor for this. You be careful, as I said earlier, what you eat is going to be the flesh, blood, etc. Then be watchful what you are eating. So quantity of the food is important, and you have to find out whether are you hungry. It's not because it's a breakfast time I have to eat. It's not because it's a lunch time I have to. Am I really hungry to eat the food? Because when you are not hungry, the food what you eat won't get digested into the system properly. So what happened? It creates the undigested metabolites. These undigested metabolites can cause so many types of disease. It can cause hypercholesterolemia. It can cause diabetes mellitus, high blood pressure, cancer. It's not only from Ayurvedic perspective. Even Western medicine has shown that with the scientific study, research study, saying that undigested metabolites can cause the disease. That's where you get the big tummy. Everywhere fat comes out of the body. Everywhere it bulges out. Because you're not watching what you are eating, when you are eating, and how you are eating. If you pay attention to that, you can definitely maintain your body weight and stay away from these diseases. So stop eating after sunset. Don't eat like once in a while, it's okay. But majority of the time, I would highly recommend, based on Ayurvedic principle, finish eating dinner by 7 p.m., maximum 7:30. Don't eat late dinner. And lunch should be your largest meal. There are a lot of studies now, again, chrononutrition, timing, frequency, and regularity of food intake is very important. Eat less and live longer. There is a concept. And nutrogenomics, that's a beautiful another concept, actually. Western medicine now, it is important. It's emerging field in the Western medicine that food or nutrient can influence your gene expression. So we usually say that before, oh, my dad has diabetes, my dad has blood pressure, so I will also get. But the research study, again, these studies are not done in Ayurveda, okay? The research study shows that you can close and open your gene. Even you may be knowing Dr. Dean Ornish, he's a really famous Western medical doctor here in this country, has done so many research on lifestyle practice and how you can reverse the diabetes and high blood pressure and some of the chronic disease. So what is say, Ayurveda said this long time ago, food what you eat really influence your gene expression. Okay, so then what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, just take on the, if you can concentrate on this point, this is very important. What you eat, how you eat, and when you eat is also play a role. So Ayurveda recommend whenever you are eating the food, sit in front of the food, look at the food, touch the food, feel the temperature, touch it, and chew it. You are hearing it, you're smelling it. So basically it's a 5 sensory organ, you're satisfying it. It's not like it's time, just swallowing it up. You need to take the time to eat the food. Once in a while, hectic life, that no problem, but it should not be your day-to-day practice. So natural food, method of processing, what you are combining. So Ayurveda recommends 6 taste food, like sweet, sour, salty, pungent, astringent, bitter taste. American diet is mainly with the salt and sugar, which are inflammation. It increases inflammation. It can cause headache. It can cause body pain, tiredness, fatigue, lack of enthusiasm. Because sugar is not, and that also the sugar what we get nowadays is a processed sugar. And the quantity, don't eat the food till you feel completely filled, right? Keep little bit space empty there. So that's very, and the food, what you get according to the season is very important. So you don't want to eat the mango in a rainy season. And whatever is growing where you are, it will be easy for your body to digest. You don't want to eat one day Thai food, one day Italian food, one day Mexican cuisine. It can create a little bit confusion to the digestive system. Once in a while, that again, no problem. But every day, the spices in those food, the quality of food definitely play a major role in the way how your food is going to digest it. And then, so there are certain rules explained in Ayurveda. So try to take the warm food, not always the cold food. Encourage your kids actually, especially for the growing kids and all, they should eat warm food, not that cereal with the cold milk and all early morning. And the cereal also, please, I have a kind request. Read the ingredients. Avoid it's bombarded with a different type of processed sugar, corn sugar, etc., and genetically modified. These are the slow killers for our body. You don't feel anything immediately, but it will make your kids more hyperactive or slow down their overall growth. Not in a physically, I mean, overall well-being, I mean. So give traditional food, we have different variety like dosha, idli, chapati, or even healthy cereals are available now. There are oatmeal is good, quinoa is good, millet is one of the best cereal you can have, high and rich. So there are different type of grain which you can prepare the healthy cereal, and then take the proper quantity of food, and then make sure your previous meal is digested. You should not feel gas, bloating, distension in the abdomen. Make sure every day you have a regular bowel movement. If you have gas, bloating, distension, and constipation, definitely after some time you may have low back pain. So you don't want that to happen. You may have joint pain, because all this increases one of the biological energies explained in Ayurveda called vata. You might have heard vata. So there are certain lifestyle activities and food which provoke this biological energy. So you want to avoid that situation. And then another thing which I see more is dairy products or yogurt mixing with the fruits. According to Ayurveda, it's sour, especially sour fruit and all. Milk mixing with the sour fruit, yogurt with the sour fruit and all. It is a kind of toxic to the body. Or any dairy product and meat or fish combination. It can cause, even Ayurveda explains, skin disease after some time. Then you may ask, not everybody get it. It's based on, again, different body type. Everyone have a healing capacity. Every body has its own healing power. We don't have to depend on all the time medicine. The body has healing power the way the animal has it. We all have the healing power, but we are so much panic and stressed out and disconnect to the environment. So the body itself forgetting to bring up that healing. So we need to bring it out actually with healthy lifestyle and positive thought. There is no shortcut for the health. You are the responsible for your own health. We don't want to depend on multivitamin for everything. Why this multivitamin business is going high? Very high, because people doesn't have a belief in the food what they are eating and the lifestyle practices what they are following. Don't eat too hurried, don't eat too slow. And then include all the taste in your meal. That is very important. Then next is the beautiful concept. How many of you may be happy to hear that sleep is the medicine? Sleep is the #1 medicine according to Ayurveda. When it's talk about 3 pillars of life, food and sleep is the two things they explain. Why sleep? During the sleep, the body actually cope up with so many stress reaction agents. It develops its own healing capacity. And the scientific said, when Ayurveda talked about it 1,000 years back, nobody believed it. Everybody thought that it is something simple. They didn't pay much attention to that. But now the research study shows that, the modern conventional medicine research study shows that one must sleep at least 7 to 8 hours. And they are proving in some of the scientific studies that during this sleep, sound sleep prevent many type of chronic disease. Look at our younger age adult. Like I recently completed one of the research study. Most of the other teenagers going to bed at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. 9 p.m., 10 p.m. sleep and not going. It's all gone. Not family members also not insisting actually go to bed early. When they are child, they insist, but after they become teenager, they're losing the control. It's very important to encourage to have a good sleep actually. Sleep determines many aspects of your life, mood, cognitive behavior such as attention and memory, and also bringing the balance in life. And then as I said earlier, lifestyle as a medicine, it's pillar of life. 70% of all cause of mortality is lifestyle disease. Look at that. That's not a short percentage. 70% is a huge. What does that mean? We can prevent this disease. This is the CDC actually data. We can prevent it, encouraging our community to have a healthy lifestyle practice. Everybody who is present here, I'm sure they all want a healthy life. But we need to understand there is no shortcut. Some people say, oh, I don't want to take Ayurveda because it has so many patyas. Should not eat, should eat those food. It's so hard to follow it. But there is no shortcut. I respect all the medicine. Don't Western medicine is very important. It has its own benefit. Chinese medicine has its own benefit. Homeopathic medicine has its own benefit. Our aim should be to bring the best out to our patient. How to bring the best to my patient, to improve their quality of life, to make them feel better. That should be our aim. So biggest challenge nowadays, if you look at overweight, not getting sleep, sedentary luxurious lifestyle. Think about it. Do I eat healthy food? Or do I eat every time from the refrigerator, reheat it and eat it? Do I move my body? Wake up in the morning, look at it, wake up in the morning till you go to sleep. How much movement happen in my body? Very less. Do I enjoy life? Am I happy about my life? You ask yourself, then you will get the answer. So you will know where to work on it. So Ayurveda is a science of life. It's a personalized medicine which encourages the patient to participate in their own wellness. There is no shortcut for that. And then I said earlier, it's a behavioral medicine too. It's talk about the psycho-emotional counseling, peace in every walk of your life, developing flexibility, adaptability, getting able to adapt to any changes what is happening. Things won't move always the way we want. Falling down is also okay. What you need to learn is when you fall down, get up and walk forward. Even if you get sick, how should I get better and move forward? Even if I fail, how should I cope up with that and move forward? Once we have that adaptability, even the disease can get cured much faster. So in my practice, I have seen the patients with more confident, more stronger mind, they can get better much faster than other people. So mind play an active role here. So be mindful in all the action, that having that self-awareness is going to really be helpful for us. And respect the nature. My favorite concept is time. For everything, time is an important factor. Even for the disease manifestation, starting from the causative factors and then manifestation of the disease, time play a role. starting from the medicine and then cure the disease, time play a role. That's why in Veda there is Kalaya Tasmai Namaha. When we get hurt, and if you after few years or after a few months, the severity of the pain get diluted. We forget it, right? So time play a major role. Circadian rhythm, the recent Nobel Prize topic actually, that I think 2 years back Nobel Prize topic. So it also talk about the body and its influence in the nature. The time, morning, afternoon, evening time, it all have the effect on the body. And Western medicine didn't have that much information about the time and its influence in the manifestation of the certain disease. Chinese medicine and Ayurveda give little in-depth understanding about how various time zones or even in a day, the different hours play a role in certain disease manifestation, or the symptom may be increased in certain time of the day and decreased in certain time of the day. And medicine should be taken in the same certain time of the day. They recently come up with a study, actually correlation with the circadian rhythm. For cancer patients, certain herbs actually work better when at certain time of the day. But Ayurveda, thousands of years back, talked about that. You have the time is very important in manifestation, and as this manifestation of the disease as well as the disease management. So what time you wake up, what time you sleep, important. Not just about going to bed. What time you go to bed. It's not just about eating the food. What time you are eating. It play a major role for the health promotion and as well as disease management. So as I said earlier, I'll give you a little information about the daily routine. It's a good lifestyle practices for preventing the disease. It helps us to establish the healthy habit. Okay, so this is a simple thing which I explained in Ayurveda. Wake up early. How many of you wake up early here? Ayurveda says Brahme Muhurte Uttishte. That means early morning before the sunrise, we have to wake up. But how many of us do that, right? So when you wake up early, it has a certain influence in the body. So when the environment will be very calm, you're also not in a hurry and then go to work. Practice it for a few days. Like if you wake up early, take your own time for all the morning activities and then sit for the work. It makes a huge difference. And then morning regimen, that also you have to take time and do it. Elimination, brushing the teeth, and how many of you do the tongue scrape? That's also very important. Gargling. We forget to gargle before olden time, like every meal you gargle the mouth, right? You do that. But now what's happening? We kind of wipe with the tissue paper and then that's it. So those are very important. Eye care, nose care, ear care. Why? Look at here. One thing is, if you know the 5 sensory organ, nose, eye, tongue, skin, ear, these are the 5 sensory organ. So in the daily routine, what Ayurveda says that take care of your sensory organ. The reason you don't get any knowledge without the involvement of sensory organ. You won't be able to hear without the ear. You won't be able to smell without the nose. You see, you won't be able to feel the taste without the tongue. These are simple things we don't pay attention. How much care are we taking for this? So that's why every day morning, you need to take care of your sensory organs. Because without sensory organ, you won't have a sensory perception. Hearing, smelling, touching, feeling of that love and compassion, you know, that's all important for a healthy life. So that's why daily routine, it talk about it. Oil massage, every day, little bit oil, apply to the body and take hot shower. You will see the difference. You will never stop once you start doing it. Even you don't have to spend a lot of money buying expensive Ayurvedic oil. Do coconut oil. Warm the coconut oil, apply to the body, rub it around the joint and take hot shower. You will feel the freshness. Every day do it. Now, the conventional medicine, now the other scientific studies are proving how important is oil for a healthy skin, healthy body and healthy mind. They're putting oil in different type of oil. A lot of research is happening actually. Avocado oil, grapeseed oil, etc. Coconut oil mixing and doing. But Ayurveda talked about this concept of oil thousands of years back. That's why I get fall in love with Ayurveda when I hear all these new studies. And then when I find that this is the same thing, which is explained thousands of years back, we are kind of revalidating it. This science is, this traditional wisdom of science, this is a time-tested medicine. The fact that it is existing since last 5,000 years, that means it's a very powerful healing science. We have to practice this in our day-to-day life. So it talk about like, exercise, yoga, meditation. So if you follow this daily routine, it's not that you're going to be disease-free, but you improve your quality of life. It's Ayurveda never talk about there won't be death at all if you take Ayurvedic medicine, because there is a rejuvenation, right? Kaya Kalpa Mandal, you might have heard. It's going to be, if you're 50 years, it's going to look like 20 years, nothing like that. It's basically your quality of life will be better. You can age much higher quality life with the higher quality life. That's the concept here. So, okay, I think, yeah. So, 3 things actually enter into our body: food, air, and perception. Nothing else enter into the body, right? If you really pay attention, what is entering into the body? Food, solid food or liquid food, and the air, and then your perception and your thoughts. So if you can balance it, if you can control it, make sure that these are the best quality. Air, we don't have much control because it's an environmental pollution. But if you can control and balance these factors, you will be fine, because nothing wrong is entering. So you have to be, your thought should be very positive. You should be calm and peaceful. You should let go unwanted things from your mind. You should fill your heart with the love and compassion and forgiveness. Make sure you are eating healthy food. Make sure you are exercising properly. You will be fine in some extent. So the balance is the key factor in life. So nourish your body, mind with a healthy diet and lifestyle. We are responsible for our own health. So I will end saying that Ayurveda is a consciousness-based approach to the health, a spiritual medicine, recognizing the phenomenal intelligence of every grain, every seed, all life, and every living thing. Thank you very much. I think we can take the question and answer now.
Thank you so much for that wonderful information, Vaidya Anupama. That was an incredible presentation on Ayurveda. I hope this helps us to get a more better perspective on Ayurveda and discover a more balanced way of living our lives. With this, we open up our Q&A session. Since we have a maximum number of participants, please go ahead and ask your questions in the chat box so that we can actually have an extended time. We can stay up to 8:30 depending on your questions. Okay.
No, I have only given very basic information based on the time. Just touch the superficial information about the concept of Ayurvedic medicine.
Okay. What is Ayurveda? The first question is, what is Ayurveda's take on keto diet and intermittent fasting?
Yeah. I think one second. Okay. A message here. Yeah, so keto diet, the concept of keto diet is, it's more about a high fat diet, right? So Ayurveda doesn't talk about the keto diet as it is, but I won't recommend keto diet for everybody. So the way Ayurveda look at the food is, it's about the individualized based, or whatever is imbalanced, based on that, what the diet should be, not just about high fat diet for everybody. So sometimes that's why you may feel better result with the keto diet. Maybe that may be suitable for your body type, but I won't say that it will be for everybody, because high fat diet is and low carb diet may want suitable for a person who is more vata predominant, or where imbalance of pitta or vata is there, their digestive fire may be weak and they won't be able to digest that much fat in the body. So if you look at the research study, there are a lot of good thing also. There are so many. Your weight can be reduced. Some people tell that it's reduced to hypercholesterolemia or diabetes, but also you can say that there are a lot of adverse, even also people who are following the keto diet for long time. For short duration, it has given result, but if you're following for a few years and all, study shows that it can create the adverse events.
Okay, Dr. Anupama, that was very informational. Then the second question that I see in the chat box, or like some similar questions coming up, and those are, organic is our first choice for food, but allopathy is the first time, like people go to allopathy for the first line treatment. Why not traditional medicine?
So organic, the concept of organic food is coming last few decades, because other type of food may be genetically modified and we are using a lot of chemicals for the diet and food preparation, and that can influence the quality of food, and also those chemical can influence the body metabolism, and there are a lot of studies shows that it can cause the different chronic inflammatory disease as well. So that is separate. So Ayurveda never recommend or concept of organic and all. Maybe in those time, everything was so fresh, people made naturally. So nothing might have happened. There might have, our acharyas might have didn't even think that our human mind will be so cruel to prepare the genetically modified food to give to our own community. It's really bad. You should read that how much this genetically modified food influence our day-to-day life, and obesity, high blood pressure, hypercholesterolemia. Very challenge actually, genetically modified food. Okay, so then the second question, why we are not doing the traditional medicine? Because the awareness, not many people know about the Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. So conventional medicine also has its own specialty. The Western medicine, when a person met with an accident and nowadays you cannot go to an Ayurvedic practitioner or Chinese medicine practice. You need a conventional medicine. Any emergency situation, we need conventional medicine. But there are certain conditions, we can also use the traditional medicine, and we can also use the traditional medicine day-to-day life to prevent the disease, what I have explained. But there is a lack of awareness. Not many people know about what to do, when to do, how to do. That is the main reason, I would say. For example, in our practice, I see my 98% of my patients are Western, from the Western community. And there's so much passion, interest, and they follow even I give most of in a traditional way practice, like mixing the powder, boiling in the water. They take it. They're so much interested into it. But still, if you look at the bigger population, the sample is very small. Not many people know about that. So I think the main challenge is public awareness. That's why I'm interested actually to give a lot of public awareness talk to encourage our community to follow this certain principle into their day-to-day life.
Thank you, Dr. Anupama. And so the next question, which comes, somebody is asking, actually I can yeah, it's Dr. Radha. She's asking, Ayurveda recommends a plant-based diet always. Is that right?
No, Ayurveda not 100% plant-based diet. Ayurveda talk about in early Charagasamhita, the classical textbook of Ayurveda, you will see the information about the meat, animal meat, like bird's meat, certain disease foods to be used, and goat, and goat milk is used, cow milk is used a lot. So it's not, and also herbo-mineral preparation is there. So it's not just about the plant-based diet. Plant-based diet, when we look at the mind, there is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic mind. There is a concept of these three. So when you look for the sattvic mind, having more balanced state, etc., or peaceful state, so plant-based diet play a major role in that. The study shows that when you consume more meat-based diet, it is common that the mind can become more little arrogant. Like rajasic quality can get aggravated. or tamasic quality can get aggravated. Sattvic bring more balancing. That's it. But Ayurveda, as it is, recommend all type of medicine. It's basically based on the patient's constitution or imbalanced energy. You can choose whether plant-based, animal-based.
Sure. Thank you. So another question is difference between neuropathy and Ayurveda.
What? Neuropathy?
No, naturopathy and Ayurveda.
Oh, okay. So naturopathy, that's a complete another health science modality where they use in this country. In India, the naturopathy scope of practice for the naturopathy is different. Here in this country, naturopathies also use herbs, but also they have a license to do the, some of the Western medicine practice, injection and also IV. So different scope of practice. Their scope of practice is more high, little bit similar to not that much to the medical doctor level, but still they have more scope of practice. But they also use different type of herbs, but also they use various type of supplement. Vitamin K, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin C, those kind of supplement also use more. Whereas in Ayurveda, it's more herbs, plant bark, plant leaf, plant roots, seed, fruits, and as well as herbo-mineral. We cannot use the mineral component here in US, but traditional Ayurveda practice include all that.
Okay, that's great. And now, how to get sleep faster? That's a good question.
Why when we think why we don't get sleep, maybe we are stressed out, right? Most of the time people don't get sleep, good quality of sleep. Stress. We worry about something. See, constantly either we are about our mind is in the future or in the past. We are forgetting to be in the present. And we worry always about what can happen. We worry about the result more. So always some level of thoughts or stress happening, which prevent actually to having that sleep, having the good quality of sleep. Sometimes hormonal changes also influence. So it's not just about the stress. I had seen the patient, they say, I don't have any stress. I'm very happy in my life, but I don't get sleep. So hormonal level changes also can influence not having good quality. And then if you eat very heavy food all the time before sleep, that also trigger not having good quality of sleep. So stay away from stress, anxiety, worry. Keep mind more happy and peaceful. We have to disconnect ourselves, consciously making a disconnect about what is happening around us. Don't identify ourselves with the things happening around us. When we identify ourselves with the problem around us, that's where the challenge begins. So we have to lift ourselves a little more higher. The life is just about the experience, but that is a little spiritual level. We don't have to go that level, but at least try to avoid the stress some extent. And there are certain yoga, maybe next time I can show that there are certain breathing exercise, which is specific snoring exercise is there to improve the quality of sleep.
Thank you so much. So the next question is, do we have Ayurvedic treatment centers here?
5 minutes nikku mone.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah. So when I say here, people ask me, what do you do here in this country? So I say that I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, work in university. So everybody, what Ayurveda here in US? What do you do with Ayurveda here? So people could not believe it. Like 10 years back, I'm almost now 16, 17 years in this country. So we have, I work in a university. We have a small Ayurvedic department. Our university is 105 years old. And we have almost 100 plus students now studying Ayurvedic medicine. And we have a separate Ayurveda department and as well as Ayurveda clinic in our health center, where we provide various type of Ayurvedic therapy. We have one of the largest Ayurvedic clinic in US actually. We have 7 Ayurvedic practitioners practicing from Monday to Saturday. Because of the COVID now, we don't have that. We are all doing like electronic telehealth consultation. But otherwise, we don't do everything what you do get in India. We have a limitation what we can practice here in US, but based on the limitation and legally what we can do, we provide most of the service here.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Anupama. So the next question is, do we have to take yogurt or curd at the end of the meal?
Yogurt and curd, both are same, right?
Or yeah, or curd at the end of the meal.
Yeah. So, according to Ayurveda, you should not take yogurt or curd after the sunset. You can do that in the lunch time, and also best one will be buttermilk. You don't have to spend money for buying all these probiotics. You may be knowing about probiotics. It's like huge probiotic supplement in the market. Traditionally, the Charaka Samhita, 5,000 years old classical textbook, when it is talk about the digestive system chapter, clearly mentioned about the importance of buttermilk. And traditional making, like churning that will be very bad, but nowadays it may be difficult every day when you go to work and or you won't have time. You can 1 cup of yogurt, 4 cup of water mixed with a blender, churn it for a few minutes and remove the top frothy layer out, and keep that bottom watery part. Even you can add little bit ginger into it, little bit cumin if you like, curry leaves if you like, and then keep it in the refrigerator. It can use for 3 days. That will be one of the best probiotics, actually. I would say everyone should take buttermilk. Lunchtime. Some of the digestive system disorder you can prevent, actually, and it improves the digestion. The concept of probiotics, Ayurveda had it long time ago. Now the Western medicine, it is coming recently. But that is the probiotic from Ayurvedic perspective, the buttermilk. Yogurt is little heavy to digest. It's not bad, but you can take, but you can also, you maybe know yogurt is good for the face. It gives very smoothness to the skin, and yeah, you can use it.
Thank you. So
but
the
never
next,
take the yogurt or buttermilk after sunset. Try to avoid that after sunset.
all right, thank you. So can you tell us some basic herbs that we can grow and how it is consumed as part of regeneration therapy?
Rejuvenation. Rejuvenatory herbs mainly, scientifically studies also proving more Triphala, Ashwagandha, Brahmi. Those are high rejuvenative quality herbs, especially if you have a kid. And for memory and all, Brahmi is growing here. You can grow Brahmi very easily. Brahmi leaves, 3 or 4 Brahmi leaves early morning, empty stomach, eating is good. But if you don't, Triphala means what? It is Amalaki, Nelikai. That's one of the very good. If you have the ability to get the Nelikai or Amalaki fruit, take it every day. But those are challenging. You don't get those fresh fruit and it's difficult to grow those plants. So among ashwagandhas, I heard it can grow, but it takes so much time to get that root and then get it. So one thing I can recommend, you can take Triphala every day. You can take ashwagandha, but again, I would recommend to make sure, doctor, you have to see an Ayurvedic practitioner and then make sure if you have any other imbalance, that you should avoid that. But if you're a healthy person, you don't have any problem, you can take Triphala. Triphala will help. So it's good for the eye, good for the skin, good for the digestion, good for the body to fight with the free radicals. Then ashwagandha has it's the best rejuvenatory herb for the body as well as the mind. It calms the mind, relax the mind, give the muscle more strength, bone support, joint support. It has some effect. So ashwagandha can also take. Brahmi is good for the memory. As you age, it's common that our memory level, or we may feel a little bit stressed out, irritability. So Brahmi is the another one. Those are the adaptogenic herb or rejuvenatory herbs. There are so many in that category. Yeah.
Thank you. And the next question is, can you share details of taking care of sensory parts in daily routine?
That's a huge topic. Yeah, that's my favorite topic too, without sensory organ, I may be looking at you and say, but if my mind is not there, I won't be getting the knowledge that who you are, like what type of dress you wore, how you are talking. No? Maybe my eyes are contacting with you. So the sensory organ with the combination of the mind is a huge area in Ayurveda. But I will little bit I'll touch, what Ayurveda say. I Ayurvedic kajal is there, but it's difficult. Only certain companies prepare. Maybe traditionally, if you know your grandma and all, they prepare certain type of kajal to put it. So that's for eye care. And also you can use triphala. For the nose, anutailam. It's basically putting oil. I was thinking like, when you take your car for a service, for the oil change and everything. So like that, all the body part filled with oil. That's what it is basically. So nose with anutailam. And nose is the only one opening where you can put the drug and directly enter into the brain. So anutailam drop every day. It helps to improve your cognitive function. So that is a nasal drop. And then ear also, there is an oil you can put. So as you age, like increase in vata or the biological energy, we can prevent. But for the skin, as I mentioned, you can apply any type of oil. Mahanarayana Thailam, Cotton Chukari Thailam, Dhanvantara Thailam. If you are a healthy person, even coconut oil also. There are dosha specific type of oil also there. But just coconut oil also fine if you are a healthy person. And then mouth, you should gargle the mouth. You can gargle with the triphala, oil pulling, coconut oil, 2 teaspoons. Warm the coconut oil and put it in the mouth and gargle it. Oil pulling is very, like it became trend here in West actually. Triphala water, triphala decoction, you put it in the mouth and gargle it. So those are the things you can do.
Okay.
Yeah, oil massage should be applied in the morning. Highly recommend. Apply the oil massage in the morning and take hot shower. That at least if you cannot put oil everywhere in the ear, nose, you may feel weird if you are not used to it. But at least do the application of oil to the body. And then, circular movement to the joint. Take 5-10 minutes in the restroom to apply it and then take warm shower. That makes a huge difference.
Thank you. So the next question is, for people who are older or younger, what is the recommendation of not, like a preventative care for not getting corona virus?
First is social distancing is very important. Now the recent study shows that social distancing is the important part, wearing mask when you go out, washing the hand with the sanitizer and staying away, maintaining the distance between the people who are meeting. Those are very important. And another thing is immune booster. You have to boost your immunity. That is number one here. All the studies, whatever is published nowadays, showing that when your immune system is very weak, that is the time you're more prone for the virus attack, even after you maintaining all this social distance, etc. So for the immune, what Ayurveda say, make sure your digestive fire is strong enough. So you can take the ginger tea, and Ayush has published actually tea which is boiled with the ginger, tulasi, black pepper, cumin seed, etc. And cinnamon. So those are very good. You can drink it. Include garlic in your diet. Also garlic is antiviral, and also sometimes you can drink the water boiled with the garlic and clove. That also good for the immunity. And also, there are certain herbs I would recommend to boost. Ashwagandha studies, a lot of studies shows that ashwagandha is very good in immune boosting. Amalaki is again the nellikai, that there is the tablet come for that. That are also good. Highest vitamin C and vitamin D. Scientific studies shows that vitamin C and vitamin D play a role, right? And then also getting into the sunlight, and do the exercise, movement. That is very important. Don't sit in a stagnant place. That will drain the energy. So even if you are working from home, it's very important that you move your whole body part. Just take, like in your computer, you write it down: forward bending, backward bending, sidewise bending, and jump and run. Open up the hand, move up and down. So you can see the difference when you move the body. You feel the energy coming. So, and eat healthy. Make sure you're eating healthy. that don't eat too much fatty food. Then your body won't be able to digest, and that indirectly can weaken your immune system as well. So keep your digestive system very healthy. Keep your immune system at the most powerful. Then you won't have to worry. That's what understanding about that.
Thank you, Dr. Anupama.
Yeah.
And then another question is, how good is ghee for your body? Some of the modern doctors, when they talk about ghee, they say it is very bad, and poisonous. So, what is the Ayurveda's perspective on that?
Yeah. So Ayurveda, if you look at the many disease, even for the respiratory disease also, there are certain preparation for immune boosting support. Also, there are certain preparation out of ghee. And ghee, as it is, they have done some scientific studies. If you prepare the ghee properly, you heat it and you eat the butter, and then leave that, take out that frothy layer out. So the lactose part is removed out, okay? And the bottom part is the healthy fat. And as far as my knowledge, it is not poison. I eat ghee every day. Almost all my meal is cooked out of ghee. So, and I would have been very poisonous and toxic. I am a living example of ghee intake. So, and my whole family, we all, because ghee is very good for, I was not taking ghee that much before studying Ayurveda. But once I learned the quality of ghee and its effect on the brain function and overall health and well-being, and make sure, the one important thing is when you take the ghee, you have to make sure your digestive fire is strong. If it's not strong, it can cause various, it can be toxic. It can cause a joint inflammation, it can be painful, etc. But if your digestion is good, if your metabolism and absorption and assimilation is good, you can take ghee, and that's not 2-3 teaspoons, and 1.5 to maximum maybe 1 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoon while cooking and seasoning. I would highly recommend ghee should be considered in our diet. But number one, I would highly recommend, it's an organic ghee preparation, and you prepare by yourself. We don't know what we get from Target. Now it is, ghee became so much in this country. You can see that in it, Sprouts and you will get a travel ghee, like small packet even. When you travel, you can carry ghee. So we don't know. I don't know how they prepare the ghee. So I always prepare at home. And it's good to take it in a limited quantity, not too much.
Thank you. So for Vata and Pitta, are we supposed to cook differently in a family?
Yeah, that is the, you don't have to cook it differently, but there are imbalances there, If a person, for example, Vata imbalance means a person with a joint pain, stiffness, rigidity, that is a type of Vata disease actually. So for them, it is better to avoid potato, raw food, green beans, peas, too much dairy product, to avoid it is better, because those are the triggering food, increasing the symptom, triggering food, okay? So, but there are certain spice combination. That's the beauty of Ayurveda. Traditionally, if we look at, we mix with cumin, coriander, fennel, ajwain, ginger, garlic. When you cook with all those things, it kind of balance some extent. Only if you are imbalanced, like if a person have a pitta symptom, means hyperacidity, lot of burning sensation, those time you have to be cooked a little bit different, avoid spicy, oily, fried food. Other than that, to maintain health, if you're a healthy person, make sure you're cooking with all the traditional way. It's fine.
Another question, almost similar as the question that we asked before.
Yeah.
It's again about the sleep, and it's specifically talking about the senior people. So for example, one of the question is like, usually like in senior people are not getting that much sleep. How to improve their sleep?
Yeah, first, don't worry too much. Ask them to that. They have to think that they are more valuable people. Everybody loves them. Fake it till you make it. Don't care about how others are treating them. Some of the sadness comes what I see in my practice. parents worry about my kid is not calling me, my kid is not talking, he's not settled, she's not settled, her kid is. So stop worrying that factor, number one. Number two, as you age, sleep will be a little bit lesser. You won't get that much. So don't worry if the usual tendency is elder people get up early, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That's okay. That's fine. Don't worry too much. Second thing is, before sleep, you can drink 1 cup of milk with the turmeric. And if you want, you can add poppy seed powder, but I don't want that to get habituated. Once in a while, roasted poppy seed powder, like maybe less than 1/4 teaspoon can add very good sleep. But you don't, again, I'm repeating, don't get used to that habit. You can add, turmeric powder, hot milk, and also saffron, 1 or 2 petals of saffron into that. Boil the milk, and maybe if you want 1 drop of ghee into that, also fine. Another thing is apply the warm oil on the sole, the feet sole before sleep. One more thing is use aroma oil, lavender, calming oil, relaxing oil, and the wrist, and then behind the ear, and smell it, and then go to bed. And then maybe put nice music or prayer play a role too. Spiritual is some of the insomnia condition and all. Again, it's not about the religious, whatever the belief system you have, having that beliefs play a major role in calming the center. And I should say about, they have done this, Indian Institute of Medical Science did a research study about Gayatri mantra and its effect on the brain and overall well-being. Actually, they did MRI. Actually, it's not just a patient feeling. They did MRI study, and it shows that the mantras and chanting play a role. Actually, there are certain changes happening in the brain when you chant certain mantras, and that can be another thing. So, breathing exercise, snoring breath play a role. There are so many, and it's still not working. In Ayurveda, there is a treatment called Shirodhara, oil dripping over the forehead. Take 7 days, 15 days of treatment. That also will be helpful.
Thank you. And the next question is there a coverage, insurance coverage for Ayurveda treatment in here?
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge. Ayurveda is not a licensed healthcare medical system yet here in US. So unfortunately, at present, there is no insurance coverage for the care. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So, and the other question is, should we take exotic herbs which is not grown in California? What is the perspective on that?
You don't have, it doesn't mean that you have to take the herbs only grow in California. It's about the diet, the food which we use day-to-day life. That's what they talk about, what we grow here. The fruit what we grow, the vegetable what we grow, where we belong to play a role. About the herbs, herbs you don't take every day, right? It doesn't have to be. As long as you can make sure they are good source, good quality, heavy metal and herb supplement. There is a lot of publication on, people are worried about Ayurvedic herbs and heavy metal. So those things you can make sure the source where it coming from are good quality, then you don't have to worry.
Okay. So then another question is, what is the difference between homeopathy and Ayurveda?
Yeah, that is a completely different health science modality. Homeopathy, their principle and the herbs they prepare, it's all completely different. It's 2 different healthcare modality, I would say. And they dilute the medicines in a different way and then use the tincture for the treatment. But where Ayurveda doesn't have the concept of dilution and bring the potency out. We have the herbs as it is, whole system approach. And that is the main difference, I would say, for homeopathy and Ayurveda. But that is one of the, India has the Ayush ministry that comes under Ayush ministry healthcare modality.
Thank you. So another question is, how to get rid of cystic acne for teenagers?
Yeah, Again, we have to look at the patient thoroughly, examine the patient. There can be so many reasons why the cystic acne is coming. Hormonal change, that's what whatever I say, most of the time hormones play a role in the formation of cystic acne. So in that scenario, they need herbs, internal herbs, to balance the hormone. And then again, cleansing the digestive system. That is an important thing. So make sure the diet, which is not heavy, the kids here especially likes all kind of heavy meal, cheese, and even the juice. Look at the juice, what we get in the shops. I don't think they are healthy, right? If it's all about processed one, bombarded with too much sugar, it's not the real fruit juice actually. Maybe they added the flavors to that. So diet play a major role for the skin health. Digestion and skin play a major. Gut-skin connection, the gut-brain connection. These are the two things Ayurveda talked about long time ago, but the recent research study shows that gut-brain connection, gut-skin connection. So I usually treat for any kind of acne, I treat the digestive system, and based on the patient condition, if it is needed, hormones also treated for them.
And I think this is a small little question. So there is someone asked, they get Triphala and Ashwagandha in powder and tablet form. And so she's asking, which one do you recommend?
Both are okay. Triphala, when it is in a powder form, the taste is very, not everybody like the taste, that sour, pungent kind of taste. So, but usually, I like the powder form better. But when I say that, I don't see scientific study proving that powder is better, tablet only bad, nothing like that. The reason, my interpretation is, the perception of the taste happen from the tongue. So still there is some kind of action happen when it touches the tongue itself. Okay, so that's why Ayurveda give value of the food, which all taste should be taken. That's why the powder may be better. And then Ashwagandha, there is an explanation. If we are taking it as a rasayana, boiled Shira Paka will be the best option for Ashwagandha. So boil with milk and water, reduce to the milk quantity. That will be having a better action. By the milk, you can take it as a milk powder with milk, Ashwagandha, and the Triphala powder with the hot water is good. But if you don't like the taste of that, capsule also fine.
Okay, thank you. And then do you recommend senior citizens to take vitamins to prevent the coronavirus?
Yeah, there is study, because there are scientific studies showing that not completely 100%, but the influence of vitamin C and vitamin D actually helping with the coronavirus for preventing. So there are studies for even for other type of virus which similar to this virus family. Also, it's good. So it's okay. Okay. We cannot make sure, the food what we get is the best quality nowadays. So I usually get that question, do I have to take a vitamin? It's okay. Like if you cannot make sure that you are getting all type of minerals and vitamins in your diet, it's okay. You can take vitamins or other supplement. That's okay.
And another question is, what is the treatment in Ayurveda for a joint pain?
It's again, there are different type of joint pain in Ayurveda. So like in Western terminology, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gouty arthritis, like that. So we have to have a thorough examination. So if the joint pain with ama, then if you apply the oil, it will definitely increase the pain, increase the swelling. So never my kind request is, don't read something and take the decision and apply the oil for the pain. With lucky, you may not have any challenge, but you have to have a thorough examination, thorough diagnosis based on the pathology.
Okay, thank you. And then there is one request that to share your clinic location and office hours and consultation places. But I have one more question that I wanted to really make sure that this is also covered. Is there any treatment center in East Coast? How easy to purchase Ayurvedic medicine in US?
Okay. Okay, so East Coast, yeah, there are a couple of places. My friends are practicing in East Coast, depending upon which part of the East Coast it is. And for Ayurvedic herbs, yes, we do have different websites which selling Ayurvedic herbs now here in US, and they are, some of them are organic. And so, for example, I'm a president of Ayurvedic herbs company. I and my husband founded this herbs company. We are existing almost 10 years now. So we bring the herbs from certain part of India and we make sure it's the best quality herbs. And we make sure we do all kind of lab test. It's because it's a USDA, FDA approval we have, and we also have a GMP approval. So we have to maintain certain standard. So similar to us, there are other companies also. So you can get the herbs here.
Okay, thank you. So there is one more question just came up now, which is asking about what is the treatment for hypothyroidism?
I say that it is again, unfortunately, I'm not able to say just again, hypothyroidism, the patient can come with a different symptom. So it's not like Ayurveda is an individualized medicine. It is a tailor-made medicine. I cannot say that maybe just take ABCD herbs. It will kids based on your symptom, based on the severity, based on which dosha, which dhatu, how is your Agni, digestive fire level, everything play a role in treating the hyperthyroid. So we do have, like, we give Kaishora Guglu, different type of pills, Guglu pills for this condition. But if I tell just like that without understanding the patient's symptom and condition, I'm not doing genuine to myself. So I'm not able to say just one. Hope you understand. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you. And again, I don't know if I'm repeating some kind of same kind of questions, but there is one more came in, which is gastroesophageal diet. If there is a gastroesophageal disease going on, what would be your recommendation as a diet? I know you already mentioned a lot of symptoms are the only things that you can say, but generally, what would be something someone struggling with any kind of stomach problems?
It depends on what symptom. If it is a hyperacidity symptom, have along with that condition, then burning sensation, sour taste in the mouth, or maybe nausea or slow digestion, I would highly recommend avoid certain, spicy, oily, fried food. Avoid eggplant, and also maybe avoid potato and cauliflower, and not too hot, not too cold also food. So, but again, gastroesophageal disease, not everybody comes with the same symptom also. So understanding the symptom, then it may be better. But I'm speaking in general umbrella of gastroesophageal disease. So that's what mainly I will do in general diet recommendation. Eggplant is actually any kind of, burning sensation, irritability, or sour taste in the eggplant is not that favorite food. We say that anything which is fire related type of a disease, try to avoid eggplant. And this is simple tip, okay? Anything with the vata, like, the nightshade, you can completely avoid fire related type of disease. Anything with like joint pain, stiffness, rigidity, etc. I would highly recommend avoiding potato, beans, peas, green peas, raw food, etc. So that's a simple, very basic thing. And people with a lot of pain, what I have seen in my practice, like try to avoid sugars. When I tell them to avoid sugar, reduce the salt and the dairy product. Ayurveda doesn't say that dairy product is bad, but I might have told many times, the milk what we get nowadays, very polluted actually. First of all, they are feeding the cows with various type of chemically induced food so that they can have more milk. Okay. And also there are pus cells comes in the milk also. If you Google it, you will find dairy products and pus cells. So those things, if that's FDA says that X percentage of the pus cells is okay in the milk. So I would highly recommend to buy organic milk, at least your dairy product, milk, yogurt, and meat. Try to buy organic. So some extent you can prevent the inflammation if you have any inflammatory disease.
Thank you.
Especially for the kids, if you have kids, especially girls, daughter and all, I would highly recommend, go with all food.
Okay, thank you. I know that the time is running out, and I wanted to make sure that we will share Dr. Anupama's clinic information to everyone. But before we go off, thanks again, everyone. Now that we wrap up this webinar, I welcome the Secretary of the Kerala Association of Los Angeles, Mr. Ramesh Menon, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Anupama, for that wonderful session. It was very useful. I learned quite a few things, and we had planned for 1 hour, but then based on the quality of questions, we had to go the extra time. We will try to plan another session because I see there are some questions still coming in, and we might do another session to answer those. If Dr. Anupama, if you could spend the time again with us. Thank you, SoCal Kerala Ladies. It was wonderful partnering with you guys. I think we should do more programs like this. Thank you, Anupa, Reshmi, and all you wonderful ladies out there. This was great. Thank you for bringing this to us. It was good working with you guys. Thanks, Reshmi, for kicking it off. And thanks, Anupa, for moderating all the questions. To everyone that tuned in today, I know there are a lot of options to spend a Saturday evening, and I'm glad you chose to spend it with us today. Thank you so much. And also I'd like to extend a big shout out to our Kala Executive Committee for all the support and help. You guys are awesome. Last but not the least, thank you to Anand Nair as well as Neil Vincent for all the technology support. Thanks everyone. Stay safe. Good night. Bye.
Namaste. Thank you, everyone.